Hi, this is the last will and testament of Chardale Irvine, February 20th, 2015, Florence, Arizona. We make this of sound mind with full consciousness. I've put this plan into motion over the course of the last year when I was able to determine that I had suffered irreversible brain damage due to untreated myalgic encephalomyelitis. My onset was February 7th, 1996. I was not able to acquire specialty treatment until September of 2014. Thousands and thousands of dollars spent on tests over the years. Hundreds of abusive doctors, predatory doctors, and inappropriate medication regimes that did permanent, irreversible damage. Specifically, tardive dyskinesia and dystonia, as well as making it so that I couldn't take those medications anymore for the things that they were originally used to treat me for, which was bipolar 1. I haven't been able to take those medications since 2010. So I hold the U.S. federal government 100% responsible for the fact that this damage occurred. I don't hold you responsible for my death, or anyone for that matter. This I'm making of my own choice to make 2 points. One is that my life and my death need to mean something. I wasn't put on this earth to waste away in the margins. I'm a warrior. I'm a fighter. And I made it to this point so that I can help the people who are sick and marginalized and mistreated in the USA as well as around the world. 17 million of us. 17 million. It's a travesty, and it's a tragedy. I have never, ever, and I mean ever, exaggerated or made up any of my symptoms. I have been completely disabled since 1996. I did achieve a small margin of partial remission in the early 2000s, but that quickly left. This illness is transmissible. My husband acquired it after 8 years of being married to me. And so whoever handles my body needs to understand that I'm contagious and that I need to be treated as a hazardous material. It is not okay for people with ME to give blood, to donate blood. It is not okay for us to be living amongst family members when we have active viruses, reactivated viruses. I tried over the last 2 weeks to get my health insurance provider, Blue Cross Blue Shield, to provide me with some at-home care, and all I got was resistance and defensiveness and no progress. Earlier today, they did call and say they did the one thing that I asked them to do first, which was to contact my ME doctor, Dr. Vera at Nova Southeastern. She refused to do that staunchly. But today, after 2 weeks, finally decided that she was going to call and say that she did that. I didn't call her back. I've already wasted far too much energy to chip away at this. And for what? Thousands of dollars of medical debt for nothing. My kids lost their mother when they were teenagers. I went to sleep. And I never came back. I never came back. It's been a roller coaster ride for everyone who's in a relationship with me. And it's not fair to expect them to take care of someone who is so ill and so marginalized when they have no access to support, medically or societally. There are kids that get this illness. There are children with this illness right now that our government has taken away from their parents because they can. And it affects everyone. It is predominantly women, at least from what they know, but at least 20% of the people who have this are men. It's common for it to be transferred from one family member to the other, although they haven't found a pathogen, and so they understate this and act as if they don't know, but they do. I have proven reactivated Epstein-Barr at this moment, Coxsackie A and B, and disseminated herpes simplex 1. These are the active viruses that we know about. There are probably other things going on. These are the testable ones that we have right now, and nobody cares. And nobody cares that my husband acquired this as well. Nobody cares. So here's the wake-up call, people. My life mattered, and it matters. I brought 3 beautiful kids into this world, amazing people, and 7 grandkids, 2 stepkids, 7 grandkids. Little people out there running around. I want them to have a better life. I want them to be treated with compassion and respect. And I want them to know that I didn't crawl into a corner and die. I went out with a message. I went out demanding that people with myalgic encephalomyelitis get treatment and care, and that research money go towards them. 1/5 of our $5 million budget last year went towards an IOM committee paper that in the end changed the name to something as ridiculous as it already was, and didn't list the primary factor in the diagnostic criteria of neuroimmune. It's a travesty and a waste. That is my first message. The second one is my granddaughter has been kidnapped by the state of Utah. An attorney, Lori Folk, the 4th District Court bench, and now the appellate court have all signed off on fraud and a fake decision. My son, Adam Mackley's paternity rights were cemented in place prior to when the cases were in court. He established and met all of the criteria in the Utah Uniform Parentage Act prior to any actions in the court. And the quote-unquote presumed father signed a release of paternity interest and filed it with the voluntary declaration of paternity and birth certificate filed with Utah Vital Statistics. The attorney, Lori Folk, has repeatedly committed fraud, harassment, docket tampering, and is going to any lengths to harass my son into default. Dismissal was issued 2 days after he was in jail, and the dismissal paperwork was certified on the day he went to jail. There is harassment. There is fraud continuing. And they have committed internet fraud repeatedly by slandering him, by attaching his picture to stories that he's not involved with. This is just part of the problem in Utah. Our problem is Cadence. We don't know if she's okay. We can't check to see if she's okay. Our family has identified that we have immune system dysfunction that can be corrected in childhood, and we have no access to her to find out if she's affected or to help. 1/3 of her life, she's been gone from our family, and it has almost destroyed her father. And he's not the only one. 12 cases are currently in the Supreme Court for fraudulent adoptions. Divorced fathers are violated just as much. Unmarried biological fathers have zero rights, regardless of whether they meet all of the legal qualifications or not. Those still aren't even adhered to. There is no due process. There is no standard operating procedure. Family law is an extortion ring, and it is complete from top to bottom. I have contacted the governor and the attorney general and the media outlets in the state of Utah with no response. My granddaughter is not for sale. My granddaughter Cadence Barney has been kidnapped. Somebody needs to help get her back. Somebody needs to shut the state of Utah down. They are not God, and they do not get to choose who parents are. Good parents. Parents who want to be involved in their life. Even if they weren't the best parents. There are parents in prison who get to see their kids. It's wrong. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent on legal fees. Jobs lost, and mostly time lost. And those little kids, Cadence, who spent a year with her dad, just stripped away. She was 14 months old.